This is an interesting situation. This LEGO Ideas Italian Riviera releases on August 7th for LEGO Insiders, 10th for everybody else, for $300 in the United States with 3,251 pieces. This is a set that when you look at it, it's like, okay, yeah, this is pretty beautiful compared to anything else on store shelves for LEGO sets. But when you compare it to the original Ideas project, it leaves me scratching my head because I don't have a problem with this being downsized from the original. Like, yeah, I would have preferred slightly less cramped interiors that the original provided, but rather the parts that are annoying me are all with the exterior changes. The change in the color of the building to the right is such a downgrade. The shutters that they use in the final build, which are 1x2s, really don't work. The lack of the vine design, the lack of the brick pieces, the lack of the beach, it's all little exterior details that make this seem inferior in so many ways. Changes that wouldn't have made the set more expensive than its $300 price. Alright, let me closer inspect those downgrades. This one now uses a color closer to nougat or brown. The original one had this beautiful coral color. And I like how the original one color scheme fits the pastel colors of the other two buildings. The other two buildings in the final design look jarring in their color schemes compared to that building to the right. There's also the lack of brick pieces. I mean, sure, the final set, like each side has like about 3 of those brick pieces or mason brick pieces. Look at the original submission where it's just littered with those brick pieces, as I call them. The same could be said with the original shutters in that submission. I like how they had windows with those shutters that can open up, and then the windows themselves have those panels that can open up. When you look at the final set, we just have a panel with imitation glass piece. Then they use the gold bar pieces. That's how I originally knew them, but you know, in that green color, that 1x2 tile piece, I guess you could call it. As shutters, that kind of looks awful the more you look at it. I don't know why they didn't go with the original design there. At least to the left in the final design, we do get the shutter pieces, which the original design had just some window panel pieces. So it's really 2 different takes. I was talking to my friend Kiki about it, and she started to point out things where I'm like, okay, maybe I am a little bit misled in what I expect from the Italian Riviera. Because when you look at the Italian Riviera, the design having those glass panel pieces and those shutters is closer to what we would see in a lot of the buildings there. So really we needed a blend between the two where we didn't use the gold bar pieces, but we had those paneled glass windows of the final set. You could also see that when you look at the masonry brick pieces, the brick pieces, the smoothness of the Italian Riviera is actually captured better in the final design, where we don't have so many bricks showing and it's more of a collective smooth exterior for these buildings. It's confusing to me, and I feel like I might be being too harsh on this set. Then you look at the roof parts, and in the original one, they had this very intricate build using these cylinder pieces, which again gives it a more authentic feeling. In the final set, we just have those half-cut cylinder pieces, as I call them, but they're the 1x2s and the 1x1s, making up the shingles on the top of the roofs, mixed with some plate pieces. Again, just a lot weaker than what you see in that original build, and gives it a less authentic and intricate design. With that being said, with the buildings, I do actually like the railing on the final build better, where they use a combination of that piece that was used in the F1 CMF series with this spoon piece in the middle there. I think that's just a clever and more interesting looking railing than the original set, which used one of those front pieces that you'd find on cars. Was it a mudguard piece? And we'll talk a little bit more about the interiors later, but I don't think the interiors are stepped down in any way, even if the original interiors were a little bit more spacious, because the buildings in general were just bigger. The final design also completely gets rid of that beautiful fountain that's found in the middle of the street. One of the biggest things missing, though, is how this just gets rid of the beachside design of the original set. The final set just has the Riviera waterway. In the original set, we had those rocks and this whole little sandy part in that corner there. Sure, the water is more numerous in the final set, but yeah, I do miss that whole design with the sand and everything there. You actually do end up getting a little bit of rocks to the side of that building to the right, at least, but it is less prominent than the original set. But I think I'm done talking about comparing these two builds. Let's talk about this final set. There are some details I like in terms of pieces. I believe this is the first time we're getting this boat color in this beautiful, as I always call it, the dentist color. Yeah, that shade of blue just always reminds me of like toothpaste and dentists. That works great. I also love the print for this pasta right here. I read the description. It says it's trophy pasta. Trophy pasta. I'm probably going to mispronounce some things here. That's awesome. I could always use for new pasta dishes as prints. And I also like this 1x2 bar, which I'm thinking is like white chocolate. I didn't see this mentioned in the press release, but that's an awesome print. If you know what it is specifically, let me know in the comments. Like, let's be real, it's probably not even chocolate. It's probably like a pasta or something. I don't know. Somebody's going to use it for like Dubai chocolate. And of course, there's that specific scooter. It has come in that color before, but you need that in this set. Unfortunately, there is a fair amount of stickers, which for such a premium set feels cheap in my opinion. You know, I just do not like stickers. But they do retain stuff like the Gelato Shop at the back right here, which you can see is noted with that sticker there. There's also like a sticker with the building number. The press release didn't give the best pictures, but from what I could see of the interior, I like what's going on here. You could see some more stickers inside there with the menu, as well as a word, it seems like. I like the little windscreen piece used for the different gelato flavors and how we have that scoop at the top there. That's all super cute. At the front, we have a building for diving gear, which also seems to be noted with a sticker there. From what I could see of the interior, of course, there's a lot of different diving utility inside there. One that stands out is the air tank. This sky blue coloring, it looks fantastic for that piece. That's beautiful. It's the next part of that classic space outfit that we got as a Build-A-Mini figure for LEGO Dreams in June 2025. Now we really need the helmet, which was rumored to come in a set that was later canceled. You got some flippers there, you got a life vest, there's also the sunscreen print. Notice how in the back we have a map, which seems to be a sticker of different spots where you could dive, and it seems like they have Italy as the landform there, which makes sense. And am I wrong, but is that a new version of that classic Paradisa torso, which we saw remade in City, but we haven't seen it with like a blue windsurfer there? If it was introduced in this set, that's awesome, though I might be wrong and that might come in other sets. You gotta let me know in the comments. Finally, there's the fish market, which you can see they have a sticker for the building number at the front. Oh, I forgot to point it out, but there's one of that for the diving shop as well. And also this menu at the front for what you could buy there. Probably the least interesting of the interiors from what we could see, but the build for the cut up fish is actually like really creative. I like seeing those three pieces used to represent a cut up fish. It's something I haven't seen before. Yeah, not too much else to point out there. Now the top of these buildings are all like different houses for the people in this village. On top of the fishing market, we have a kitchen, which is where I pointed out that 2x2 new pasta print. And that is a nona, you know, a strega nona, you could say. I'm sorry, I had to. Love what's seemingly a new print for the torso and legs there, which has this really nice pattern for an apron there. Another great print that might be exclusive to this set. At least I know for sure the torso and legs there were introduced in this set. That's all awesome. I like how they also have like the pasta being rolled out with the rolling pin build. How you have like wine there and maybe a little bit of basil. Great quaint little kitchen. There's another floor, but I don't see any pictures on Shop at Home or in the press release really showing what's in there. Only in the video you get a little tiny look that there's like a small bed inside there. And yeah, there's a nice small balcony build too. And I didn't even notice that the building to the left is actually connected on the top floors. So you could go in between these two top floors of the buildings. The design to the right has another lovely kitchen that is distinct from the last one. Like, look at the build for the refrigerator here. That is, again, a very unconventional refrigerator build from a LEGO set. We don't have one that could actually open, but I get exactly what they're going for there with those curved pieces. I also love the coffee pot build right there, which uses a studs not on top technique with that 1x1 with that part coming out, another 1x1 modified with the clip and that horn piece. And then you have the cupcake piece at the base, which is so clever. I love how they have that teacup hanging from the top of the cabinets there. That is great. We got another appearance of that chocolate bar, as I call it, the white chocolate bar, which I know that's not exactly what it is. And then you could just have your minifigures go to the other rooms with that little entryway. The design of this TV right here is another fun build where I like the texturing at the side right there. How they use a build of a double cheese slope, it seems like. But the front 2x2, I really wish was a print because I love the sticker design there of what's like a lady in a dress at the front there. That is beautiful. You have an interesting couch build as well. And the balcony on this side has a really lovely pattern on that table there for like a tablecloth going on. That looks great, even though I wish that was, again, a print instead of a sticker. Also, at the back of these buildings, there's some great designs where we have like a satellite. We have more of those windows, which again, I don't like those fake panels going on there. I do like how they have the flowers hanging there, and you can see that at the back as well. There's even a secret part under this rocky area of a crab holding a gelato. That is freaking adorable. A sticker of a quilt hanging from the back of Nona's building. That's really fun. And then to the left side there, we have a design with another crab and also like a little gutter build going on. And looking from it at these angles, the rocks feel so much more prominent, more akin to the original design angles. So yeah, I love this set. Just gotta forget about that original build because the original build makes me not like this set. But when you just don't have that in your mind, it's like, okay, this set is beautiful on its own. It's just such a weird downgrade. So let me know in the comments, am I being too harsh on this set, or are you as conflicted as I am, where it's like, well, yeah, this is still better than anything on LEGO store shelves probably at this moment. But dang, you just think what could have been with a very possible original design. Like I said, this could have made store shelves. It doesn't feel like an unrealistic idea. One thing is that the press release mentions a giveaway promo, the Mediterranean scene set, but there are no pictures of this set so far. And this will be available from the 7th to 13th of August. So that will be from the early access release through the general release on the 10th of August. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that turns out. And which do you think is better, the original design or the final design? I know it's not an easy answer. Like I said, I'm super conflicted. I'll see you later. Subscribe here for more LEGO news and commentary. Seriously, liking this video, commenting, and subscribing helps so much with this cruel algorithm. Check out my video on swear words and LEGO sets. That was so much fun. I put that out yesterday. Peace out.